A new adjuster gets onto a roof after a reported windstorm. The homeowner says the wind damaged the roof. The contractor says the shingles are lifted everywhere. The assignment says possible wind damage. So the adjuster walks the roof, sees a lifted shingle tab, and immediately thinks, there it is, wind damage. That may feel simple, but roof claims are rarely that generous. Not every lifted or loose shingle is wind damage, and not every broken seal is wind damage. And if you call everything wind damage just because a shingle moved when you touched it, the file is going to have problems later. This is part 4 of our 7-part series, Wind and Hail Roof Damage for New Adjusters. In part 1, we talked about knowing before you go. In part 2, we talked about safety before you step on the roof. In part 3, we talked about truck-to-truck inspection workflow.
Now in part 4, we're talking about wind damage basics.
And the first thing new adjusters need to understand is this. Wind damage is not just about finding something lifted. It is about inspecting the roof system, looking at the pattern, documenting the condition, and understanding what you are actually seeing. Wind can damage asphalt shingles in several ways. You may find missing shingles, torn shingles, creased tabs, ripped shingles, or shingles that have been folded back or displaced. You may see damage along an edge, rake, eave, ridge, hip, valley, or wind-facing slope. Those conditions matter, but they still need context. A missing shingle does not tell the whole story by itself. You need to know where it is located, what slope it is on, what the surrounding shingles look like, whether there is exposed underlayment, whether fasteners pulled through, and whether the condition looks fresh or old and weathered. A creased shingle needs context too. Is the crease sharp and recent looking, or is it weathered? Is it isolated, or are there several creased tabs across the same slope? Is the surrounding roof brittle, worn, or deteriorated? And a lifted shingle needs even more caution. Just because a shingle tab lifts does not mean wind lifted it. That broken seal could be related to age, heat, installation, deterioration, prior repair, foot traffic, mechanical damage, or normal roof wear. This is where new adjusters have to slow down. You are not there to agree with the loudest person on the roof, but you are also not there to deny everything either. You are there to inspect, document, and report what you observe. That means looking beyond the one shingle in your hand. Look at the slope. Look at the surrounding shingles. Look at the age and overall condition of the roof. Look at the direction and pattern of the damage. Look at other slopes. Look at the edges. Look for prior repairs. Look for brittleness, wear, blistering, deterioration, or signs of mechanical damage. Because one lifted shingle on an old brittle roof tells a different story than multiple creased or missing shingles on the same wind-facing slope. Pattern matters, location matters, condition matters, and documentation matters. Now, let's talk about photos. A lot of new adjusters find something lifted, take one close-up photo, and think the file is complete. That is not documentation. That is a mystery picture with roofing texture. Use the same photo logic we have talked about throughout this series. Wide photo, medium photo, close-up photo. The wide photo shows the slope and general area. The medium photo shows the damage section in context. The close-up photo shows the specific condition. If you find a missing shingle, show the slope first, then show the surrounding area, then show the missing shingle location. If you find a creased tab, show where it is on the slope before you zoom in on the crease. If you find a torn shingle, document the tear, but also document the surrounding shingles and the location. And if you inspect a slope and do not observe visible wind damage, that needs to be documented too. Remember, you are not just documenting damage, you are documenting the inspection. That is how the file tells the story after you leave. Your notes need to do the same thing. Do not just write wind damage and move on like the file can read your mind. It cannot. Files are rude that way. Write what you observed. For example, you might note a missing shingle on the front slope, a creased tab on the right slope, a torn shingle near the ridge, a lifted tab with no visible crease, no visible wind damage observed on the left slope, or prior repairs observed on the rear slope. Those kinds of notes give the file something to work with. They explain your observations, they help the reviewer understand what you saw, and they help prevent confusion later. Now, let's slow down on broken seals, because this is one of the places new adjusters can get themselves into trouble. A shingle that lifts easily may have a broken seal, But a broken seal by itself is not automatically storm-created wind damage. You need supporting conditions. Is there a crease? Is the shingle torn? Is it displaced? Is there a pattern? Is there fresh damage nearby? Are multiple shingles affected in a way that makes sense with wind? Or is the roof older, brittle, poorly sealed, improperly installed, or deteriorated? Those questions matter because a roof can have conditions that look suspicious at first glance, but are not necessarily caused by the reported wind event. Again, the job is not to guess. The job is to verify. And if the condition is uncertain, document what you observed clearly. Do not overstate it. Do not make the file stronger than the facts. Also, do not let pressure replace process. Oddly enough, I have rarely been on a roof with a contractor who wasn't convinced the roof is wind damaged. A homeowner may be worried, and someone may be pointing at every lifted tab like they have discovered buried treasure. But your job is to stay steady. Inspect the roof, document the condition, follow your guidelines, let the file support the conclusion.
Wind damage should make sense.
Decide the larger inspection. Does the roof damage line up with what was reported? Do the slopes tell a consistent story? Are there signs of wind-related damage elsewhere on the property? Is there missing or displaced material? Are there interior leaks that may connect to the roof findings? Do the photos, notes, and diagrams support each other? Those are the questions that help a new adjuster build a better file, because the software will not fix a weak inspection. Xactimate can help write the estimate. It cannot decide whether the shingle was damaged by wind. That responsibility starts in the field. So here is the lesson for part 4. Not every lifted shingle is wind damage. Slow down before you label it. Look for missing, torn, creased, ripped, or displaced shingles. Look at the pattern. Look at the slope. Look at the roof age and condition. Look for prior repairs, brittleness, deterioration, installation issues, and mechanical damage. Use wide, medium, and close-up photos. Write what you actually observed. Do not let pressure replace process. And build an accurate file that makes sense after you leave. This is part 4 of our 7-part series, Wind and Hail Roof Damage for New Adjusters. In part 5, we are going to talk about hail damage basics and why granule loss is not always hail damage. Learn the roof. Inspect the system. Document the evidence. If you are licensed and ready to build practical field skills, check out our Wind and Hail Online Adjuster Certification course with Adjuster Academy of Texas. Need to get licensed first? Start with our Texas All Lines Online Adjuster Pre-Licensing course. Now get to work.